A tough excursion through two cities where teams are battling for the postseason has turned into a fun 5-game, kicking-up-a-fuss Phillies road trip. In Game 1, the best offensive team in baseball was kept quiet for most of the night, and the visiting team welcomed a new closer to the mound to keep the winning ways intact. This season, the Phillies were having a lot of trouble on the road. No trouble on this road trip, though. The Phils have won each game so far. Tonight, they'll go for the clean sweep. It's Game 2 against the Toronto Blue Jays from Rogers Center. So, since the All-Star break, how good have the Phillies been? Well, they've been one of the best teams in baseball at 9-1. The Giants won today, so they're now 10-2. And you see the other guys that have records close to the Phils, all are still involved in the postseason trek. The Phillies, of course, at 9-1. It's their best start after the All-Star break in quite some time. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. Well, it has been a great run. The Phillies won a one-run game last night thanks to their bullpen, but also, Matt, thanks to a fifth inning that exploded for the Phils.
Well, and it started with the fourth inning. They had a leadoff double the Blue Jays. They get out of it, and all of a sudden the momentum switched around. And what I liked about the at-bats in the fifth inning is they were sitting on off-speed pitches. You know, you see Darren Ruff right here. He gets a curveball, stays back, foot down early, drives it to right center for a huge double. And that's the key right there, is to get your foot down early and recognize the pitch. Cody Ashley, foot down early, ball just over the head of Batista in right field. Then Blanco comes up, the little slider down and in, does a nice job hitting it inside the third base line. Took a while to get going, but they picked up right where they're hitting in Chicago. That's the key right there. The 5-game winning streak, .307 batting average. The number that sticks out to me, though, they're playing very good baseball, is 1 error in the 5-game winning streak. So, one, they're getting good pitching. They're going deep into the game, but these guys are hitting for doubles, a lot of extra base hits. They're not built on a lot of home runs, but it's nice to see them. They're getting doubles and triples.
Well, they hope it'll continue tonight. And one guy who's back in the lineup tonight, he's been a huge influence on a lot of the young players, is Andres Blanco. And earlier today, he sat down with Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Yep, here with Andres Blanco. And Whitey, you know, talking with your manager, some high praise when speaking of you. He said that certainly one of the best utility players that he's ever had a chance to be around in the game of baseball. That has to come as high praise. You have kind of taken your role on this team and really run with it.
Oh, yeah. We all know that's hard to come every once in a while just playing, and then especially having good at-bats and play pretty good defense. And in my situation, basically, I just want to do the best I can do. Put my best offer in the team and during the game and for the team. And especially when everybody has been playing pretty good lately, so you want to participate, you want to be part of it. And that's probably give me that more respect from my coaches, manager, and then my teammates.
Well, you know, not only on the field when you're in the lineup do you contribute, but, you know, I sit and watch you contribute when you're not in the lineup. And I think you really embraced that team leader kind of role, have you not?
Well, I don't want to call him like that. I just want to be good teammate, good person. Like I can pass any information to my teammates. In this case, Franco, Freddie, Cesar, even Carlos. That sometimes we're talking about how they doing, what adjust they've been making, and I'll be able to see all those type of small things during the game that I can passing around, and then we always talking around each other, making a joke and having a good time. Get the guys relaxed a little bit. That way they be more success during the game.
And we saw a moment like that last night with you and Maikel Franco, and it's been a lot more fun. Obviously, winning is a lot more fun as well.
Exactly. It gets you relaxed when you start doing good and start winning and during the game. That makes you play better, honestly.
All right, well, 9 out of 10. Looking to add to that tonight here in Toronto. Andres, thanks for your time. Tom, Matt, let's send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Andres will be at second base tonight for the Phils behind Jerome Williams, who will be posed by the knuckleballer, R.A. Dickey. Lineups at first pitch when we return. to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Cola, the official soft drink of the Phils. By Citizens Bank, one deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyattoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. Well, I know back in the Delaware Valley it was very warm today. Same thing here in Toronto. The roof is open. Clouds are filling up a little bit, but we are ready for baseball. And R.A. Dickey is warming up. Troy Tulowitzki's got, what do you think, Matt, 3 or 4 large rounds of applause? When he went out to run and stretch, when he went out to throw, when he was introduced in the starting lineup?
No, when his first at-bat comes up, his first strikeout, second strikeout.
Well, he had his press conference today. He handled everything great. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be Revere, Galvis, and Franco, followed by Ryan Howard, Jeff Francoeur, and Dominic Brown. Carlos Ruiz does the catching tonight. Darren Ruff's at first once again. And Andres Blanco starts again, as we mentioned, over at second base tonight. They will face right-hander R.A. Dickey, now 40 years old, but the knuckleball is still really good. His record isn't great, 4-10. His earned run average isn't awful, but he's given up 17 home runs. But he's been better lately. The opposition the last 3 games matter, hitting 143 against him.
He's been better of late. I mean, what do you tell the guy? You landing on your heel? I mean, really. He's a 4-pitch pitcher. He actually throws a lot of knuckleballs, 85.6% of the time. Fastball, 11.5% of the time. The thing I found interesting, when he was behind in the count, he'll use his fastball 26% of the time. So,
well, even during warm-ups, it's difficult for Russell Martin. Yeah. Russell Martin has 16 passed balls, 35 wild pitches this year.
That's a gut shot.
Well, he's ready to go. So is Ben Revere. And the first pitch of the night. On the outside corner, it's 0-1. DJ Rayburn is the home plate umpire. We always watch umpires when it comes to this knuckleball. How will he adapt to it? Ground ball to shortstop. Tulowitzki's first opportunity. So it's clean play, 1 away. Freddie Galvis is coming up. Rayburn's behind the plate tonight. Joe West is the crew chief. He's over at first. Kerwin Danley's at second. Rob Drake is around at third. And speaking of the umpires, that play last night where it was evident that Ryan Howard fouled the ball off his leg, we had initially thought it was not reviewable, but Joe West said that John Gibbons could review it. Well, after talking about it, we didn't hear the rest of the conversation. It was indeed a play that could not be reviewed. I think that's one that will be changed in the years to come.
Absolutely.
So that's why John Gibbons, never did ask for the review. No balls, 1 strike to Freddie Galvis. Yeah, the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, we're 4 pitches into this game, and I love the expression Russell Martin's doing already. He's missed 2 already.
Freddie better run. That is a fair ball. 1-3 on the putout. Yeah, I would think it's got to be frustrating for a catcher to deal with this, particularly when you're not. This is the first year really that he is dealing with it.
Well, and you would think it'd be so easy. It's the ball coming in at 77 miles an hour and knuckling a little bit, and at times you don't even get leather on it.
Yeah. Well, Freddie's retired. It turned out to be an easy play because he didn't run initially. And that'll bring Maikel Franco to the plate. Knuckleball on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Popped him up near the mounds. Donaldson says he has it. And an easy inning for R.A. Dickey. 1-2-3 go the Phils. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Phillies nothing, and the Blue Jays coming up for the first time. Starting lineup that's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Phils. Tulowitzki, Donaldson, and Bautista. Chris Colabello was inserted late for the injured Edwin Encarnacion. Russell Martin bats fifth. Danny Valencia sixth. And the bottom third of Carrera, Pilar, and Ryan Goins. Oh, we mentioned the rounds of applause that Troy Tulowitzki's received. Well, here comes another one. Well, that's got to make you feel welcomed. He said he was shocked by the trade, but then he took a step back and realized that you're waking up every day in contention. Now, the first pitch to him just misses, and it's 1-0. I think a lot of people were surprised when they saw the lineup card and saw that he was batting leadoff. But with the injury to Travis, they didn't really have a leadoff batter. Outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's matched the Phillies during his career. .333 against the Phils, .348 this year with a couple of home runs. Outside, and it's 2-1.
You would think a lot of emotions. You know, you're leaving an organization where you've been your whole career. But like you said, Tom, you wake up now, you're right in the middle of a pennant race.
Pops it up. Franco will give it a look over toward the dugout. He's out of room, and it's 2-2. Jose Reyes played in his first game today for the Rockies. He singled in his first at bat. But John Lester really didn't allow a whole lot else. Reyes, like Tulowitzki, said he was shocked by the trade, but is open-minded that the gaps in left center and right center field in Colorado could help him. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Tulowitzki. Swing and a miss. And Jerome Williams has his first strikeout. Well, let's take a look at Jerome's numbers. He didn't pitch badly, Matt, his last time out against the Chicago Cubs.
No, he didn't pitch badly at all. But 2 mistakes, 1 to Chris Bryant, 1 to Coughlin. He's better control of his cutter and his fastball. You know, and that was the key for me right there. And also is that, you know, uses all 4 pitches, but last outing he threw 34% of the cutters, which is up about 14% from what he usually averages.
First pitch to Donaldson is a breaking ball in there. It's 0-1. Now that's a pitch that he didn't overwhelm guys with his last outing.
Yeah, no likey.
That's not a bad one to spot that. 0-2.
And I'll tell you why I don't like the slow curveballs, because all these guys love hitting home runs, so they get their foot down early and they recognize pitches very early.
Well, spotting the fastball has always been important for Jerome, but against this team it's probably more important. Change up, chop towards shortstop. And Andres Blanco throws out, or excuse me, Freddie Galvis throws out Josh Donaldson.
Well, time for Nissan keys to the game, and key number 1 for me is be a knucklehead. There's no need to think. If you're facing a knuckleballer, you get in there. The key number 2 right there is if it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go. Means if it starts low, it's going to be out of the strike zone. And if it starts high, you might see like a Dave Steve shot, 4th deck from Ryan Howard.
Here is Jose Bautista DHing tonight. He informed the masses last night after the game through his Twitter account, just those that were concerned about him, that the injury he sustained last night was only a cramp, that there was nothing else that was bothersome. I guess he was taking a little heat for not running the ball out on the ground ball to shortstop.
Hey, when in doubt, stop and grab your hamstring.
Is that right?
I guess so.
Here's the 2-0 pitch to Bautista. Off the end of the bat. Shallow right field. This could be a tough play if Ruff doesn't get back there, and he does, and he makes the catch. Well, 12 pitch first inning for Jerome Williams. A nice start for him. On to the second here in Toronto. tomorrow, and then Alumni Weekend takes over on Friday. It's brought to you by the great folks at Toyota. Pat Burrell Wall of Fame induction ceremony will take place on Friday, so you want to get in your seats early. And then Sunday it all wraps up with the Phillies Wall of Fame Fathead, free to all fans. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Well, here's Ryan Howard. Howard is 3 for 18 lifetime against R.A. Dickey. And he chops it foul. Matt, I guess I could ask you what your theory was when you faced a knuckleballer, but just looking at your keys, I guess we know what your theory was.
I mean, really, there is no thought process of hitting versus a knuckleballer. You look one above your waist and square it up, or try to square it up.
And if you get on base, be on your toes, because Russell Martin's having a little trouble with it tonight. They're having a Russell Martin bobblehead night or day at some point later on this year, and we were all commenting that the glove that he has in that bobblehead looks like the knuckleball glove. Looks like a oversized first baseman's mitt. Softball catcher's mitt. Howard fouls this one off his foot.
Run.
Listen to the fans. Listen. They're murmuring about last night's play. Rob Drake, the home plate umpire from last night.
This one hit him in the toe.
Four straight retired by Dickey. Jeff Francoeur is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, R.A. Dickey has made quick work so far with the first 4 batters in the Phil's offense. And you know, Tom, if you look at the numbers of guys against R.A. Dickey in the lineup, nobody's had a whole lot of success for the Phil's with the exception of Carlos Ruiz. And R.A. Dickey has been better of late, as you mentioned early. His knuckleball, the production against the knuckleball, you take a look right here. Early on, first 17 starts, guys were hitting 236 off that knuckleball. Now down to 143 in his last 3 starts. And a big reason he's getting a lot of swings and misses, as you just saw there. Although Francoeur doesn't miss that. It's a line shot to left field. It's going to go up against the wall. But a lot more guys are swinging and missing from 20% to 25% in his last 3 starts. But Jeff Francoeur, as I said, gets all of that one. Double for him, and it's a good start for the Phils in this inning, guys.
He had 5 earned runs in his last 22 2/3, counting the inning in the third tonight. In fact, I saw an interview with John Gibbons a couple weeks ago, and he was being interviewed on the MLB network and was asked about his starting staff and asked about R.A. Dickey, and he said he's okay with R.A. Dickey. He said a lot of it's he hasn't gotten a whole lot of run support. As Dominic Brown pops that one into shallow right field. Long run for Goins. He'll make the catch. 2 outs.
Well, and that's one thing you got to, when you have R.A. Dickey on the mound, you're just hoping his knuckleball dances.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this is a day where your hitting coach, I'm sorry, your pitching coach just sits back and admires the game.
Well, we mentioned he's 40 years old. He didn't start throwing the knuckleball until after he failed in the big leagues the first time.
With the Rangers.
He's a guy who threw in his low 90s, high 90s, really.
High 90s.
But he was getting hit, and hit hard. Carlos takes high. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, I faced him back in the day when he was a fastball pitcher. Didn't have a lot of life on the, sinking it. He threw a lot of 4-seamers.
It was straight, wasn't it?
Very straight.
Carlos takes in 2-0.
Very fun to hit against.
Not so much once he turned to the knuckleball. Well, your numbers, Matt, against R.A. Dickey and Tim Wakefield, the 2 knuckleballers. That'll be fouled down the right field line and out of play. Nice catch. Wakefield threw a harder knuckleball or a softer one?
No, softer. Now, you got that 1 home run against Dickey. That's when he was throwing in the 90s. How come there's no stolen bases on there?
That's a good question. We should have expanded it. We should have expanded our thinking. 2 balls, 1 strike to Ruiz. Fouls it again. It's 2-2. Like a lot of knuckleballers before R.A. Dickey, Charlie Huff was a big influence on him. Helped him figure out how to throw it properly.
Faced him too, spring training.
Well, he was older.
You think?
Yeah. Over to second base. Goins to his left a few steps, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left in scoring position. Jeff Francoeur gets the first hit of the night for the Phils. We'll move to the bottom of the first inning. Collins makes his return to Citizens Bank Park. Tuesday, August 4th is game 1. It all wraps up on Thursday the 5th, or excuse me, Thursday the 6th at 1:05. It's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Citizens Bank Pride of the Phillies print featuring the Phillies mural will be given out to all fans. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. And on August 4th, we are heading back to the stands. That's right. All 4 of us will be out among the fans. Me, Matt, Ben, and Murph. It'll be near the on-deck circle on the Phillies side of the field. A brand new position. Last year we were out in center field. This year we're going to be behind home plate. As Chris Colabello takes down low, it's 1 ball and no strikes.
You bringing a glove?
I'm going to bring a catcher's mitt. We're going to be behind home plate.
Then let Ben do it. He has a better angle how it comes back on field catchers.
That's disappointing. Out of play.
You can bring a glove.
It's 1-1. If you get a chance, if you ever have been at the games, we've shown you where our buddies who are the authenticators are. We're going to be right next to them. Matt, you'll be authenticating all night. You'll be throwing stickers on everything. 1 ball, 1 strike to Colabello. Inside, 2-1. Colabello was a late addition to the lineup because Edwin Encarnacion hurt his middle finger in last night's game. X-rays were negative. He was in the original starting lineup. Took a little while for the X-rays to dry, so see the finger's got that little pad on it. He really doesn't look happy. There's a base hit into center field for Colabello. A leadoff single here in the bottom of the 2nd. And Russell Martin will walk to the plate. Martin was 2 for 4 last night. He picked up a double.
No, that's not a bad curveball right there because it's a little harder than the one he threw to Donaldson his first at bat.
During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Oh, 0-2 to Russell Martin. And 1 ball and 2 strikes. He tried a changeup, but it was low, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Kind of surprised so far in the first 5 hitters. We've seen 2 cutters / sliders.
Yeah, we saw one the pitch right before the changeup.
Correct. You know, that was his bread and butter pitch in Chicago.
Chopper to second base. That could be 2. Blanco quickly to second for 1. Over to first in time. 4-6-3 double play. Yeah, there are 2 outs.
Well, it's a look at fastball inside. Good miss, low and away. Blanco does a 360, good feed, and Freddie Galvis clears himself at second base and makes a strong throw over to Darren at first.
Players have commented that this surface is forgiving, particularly on these ground balls. It's a very true hop for them.
Yeah.
And they said it is soft compared to even the previous turf. It's even softer.
Well, it is. And I was watching some during batting practice today, and some balls that are hitting on the ground, they weren't even making it to the left fielder and right fielder all the way.
Danny Valencia is the batter. Valencia had 1 hit in last night's game. He also grounded out a couple times. Well, there's a cutter, and it's 0-1. Back toward the middle. Blanco can't get it. Well, they had a little bit of an overshift on, but they had the shortstop playing over toward the hole, the second baseman playing toward the middle. They basically hit it through that shift. And now Ezequiel Carrera, the former Philly, if only for 16 plate appearances back in 2013. He will be the hitter for the Blue Jays. Jerome flips it over the head of Darren Ruff. I thought he was going to tag him, honestly, when he picked it up.
I agree. I thought he was going to just pick the ball up and stop and tag him. I mean, this would have been an unbelievable play if he would have done it, but you know, right here, he has in his mind he's going to do a flip.
Yeah, the glove was the wrong way. He could have tagged him easily. He just made a bad decision on it. I didn't think there was any question. I mean, Carrera had to get out of his way.
Right.
Well, they have scored at a base hit. You know, if he had come in and just turned his glove the other way, would have nestled right in there, and he would have just popped him right on the hip. Yep. Or he could have just stopped and flipped it underhand to the first baseman. So now Pilar with runners on first and second. Outside, 1-0. Matt, maybe you should have changed your keys. Instead of the hitters, don't think. maybe everybody should have had that key under their pillow. Outside corner, it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that it is a knuckleball day, so everyone Just sit there and relax and have fun today. No thinking.
Dominic Brown started in, goes back, makes the catch, so no harm on the misplay. 3 hits in the inning, 2 runners left on base. We have completed 2. Darren Ruff will lead it off when we return. For all the information, please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, here we go. Who are the only 2 pitchers in MLB history to throw a no-hitter in the same season they won a Gold Glove? Answer will be revealed a little later on.
One was a real hard throwing right-hander. The other one's a very soft throwing left-hander.
That is really impressive that you were able to get that fast. Let me congratulate you.
Thanks. Can't believe Jamie Moyer. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Here's Darren Ruff to lead it off. Darren celebrated a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Darren. 1 day late. Swing and a miss. The ball went in and out of the glove of the catcher, Russell Martin. You're right about his body language, too. I think he said something to R.A. Dickey earlier, like, hey, listen, I'm just not seeing the ball or something.
Well, the one thing about R.A. Dickey, he throws 2 different knuckleballs. That one right there is the hard knuckleball at 80 miles an hour. Then he throws the floater at 74. That's the cheese at 79.
Second strikeout for him.
You know, this is a pitch that you're just sitting there on a slider, or I'm sorry, you're sitting on knuckleball, and he surprises you. That's a knuckleball.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. I thought it was a fastball.
His fastball is not going to be much more than that.
No.
Down the left field line, out of play, and it's 0-1.
See, now Whitey's going to have the right approach, because he swings for downtown every pitch. Doesn't matter if it's a fastball, curveball, slider. You know, a lot of people talk about move up in the batter's box, get closer to home plate. Nah.
Off the hands, it'll bloop off the glove of Tulowitzki. And it's the second hit of the day for the Phils. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Alton Blows of Northampton, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in today's game, then Alton will win $200.
That's why you swing hard versus a knuckleballer. If you get jammed, you can muscle it out there for a little dinker.
There's Ben Revere, who grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Let the ball in the outside corner. Toward the hole, Tulowitzki gets to it, throws to second in time to get Blanco. Fielder's choice.
We've seen this play many times, Tom. Going to his right, making a jump spin throw. Very accurate. Still has a very strong arm.
Yeah, that's part of it where they felt like they really upgraded, because Reyes, anybody that you talked to here in Toronto said the defense had gotten into his head. He was just really struggling with his defense. Another throw over. Fly ball, shallow center. Dickey's making it look easy tonight against the Phillies. He's allowed 2 base hits through the first 3. Middle of the 3rd, Phillies nothing and the Blue Jays nothing. Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Bottom of the 3rd, and Ryan Goins will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Well, if you have nothing to do in Toronto, Matt,
oh my Lord,
you can go up to the top of the CN Tower and just hang out. Literally, hang out. You want to do that next year?
Why? Like,
must be a beautiful view.
They're looking at the tower. They're not turned around the other direction.
You can turn and twist a little bit. You can move around the tower. Base hit it to right field. Murph and I are going to do that next year, whether he realizes it or not. Troy Tulowitzki's coming up for a second time. Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler, they're doing their Blue Jays games on television. They did it for charity. I don't know what they did, but they did it for charity. Maybe they stayed up there for 24 hours or something.
I'll stay in the restaurant for 24 hours.
Tulowitzki struck out his first time up. Takes a fastball, and it's 0-1.
Tom, if I had a ranch-style house,
yeah,
I wouldn't even do that out the window. They're 2 feet above. Now, if it was for charity, I would have to consider it.
The ranch or that?
That one up there.
0-1 pitch in there, and it's 0-2. Well hit. Troy Tulowitzki going to make the welcome to Canada even better. 2-run home run in his second at bat in the American League, and the Blue Jays take the lead. Josh Donaldson is the hitter. Tulowitzki just waved his cap. I don't know if that was enough for the folks here at the Rogers Center. Oh, 1 pitch to Donaldson, and he whacks it foul. It's 0-2.
Well, no balls, 2 strikes. Elevated fastball. Not high enough. And if I recall, the 2 home runs he hit against us this year in Philly were high fastballs as well.
I think you're exactly right. It snaps an 0 for 21 stretch for Tulo. Well, it's a pretty good way to say, hi, I'm Troy Tulowitzki. I'm your new shortstop.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Donaldson got in the batter's box that quick. I thought he would have waited for a second. Tulo had the chance to come out and do the curtain call.
Boy, he crushed that one too. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tapper foul. Well, Phillies were down 2-0 in last night's ball game. Off the hands, that'll get into right center field. 3 straight hits.
Not much you can do there. Very good pitch.
Bautista popped out to Darren Ruff his first time up. Grounds that one back toward the middle. Blanco is there. Flips to Galvis, who drops the ball. They'll call the out at second base. Donaldson is saying he never had control of it. It looked like that it was on the exchange. Kerwin Danley made the call. I think he made the right call. He'll talk to John Gibbons about it. I do believe that Blanco's flip surprised Freddie a little bit, but he still was able to corral it.
It's a great flip. No?
I don't know if he had control over it.
I'm going to say he's
I don't know if he had control over it. Because he didn't get to the bag yet. Right there, he's not at the bag, and that should be.
That'll be overturned
if they decide to review it. If he was on the bag, I think he would have been fine, but he lost it before he got there. So Joe West and Kerwin Dantley will put the headsets on. Now, there's always this question about the neighborhood play. That wasn't part of it. And there's always this question about the exchange. There needs to be a clean exchange.
Right. Now, the ball comes out right before
there.
he even touches.
Yeah, so he'll be safe at second base.
Yeah. So more likely would be E6.
So it's out of his glove there, and he hasn't even touched the bag yet. I thought Donaldson was wrong. I thought it was on the exchange. Here comes the headset and the decision. He is safe. I think fielder's choice E6.
So that's the one part of the game that I miss. Is a manager going out and questioning calls. You know, instead of walking out there and putting a hand up and saying, hey, hold on for a second, guys, we're going to go to the video room.
Yeah, like last night when the ball fouled off Howard's leg and rolled up the third base line, I was shocked that John Gibbons didn't argue more. John's had some good arguments over the years, too. Down and away to Calabello, who singled his first time up. So still nobody out. That error, by the way, for Freddie Galvis was his first error. Or excuse me, it was only his second error in his last 32 games. So 132 chances, and he's had just 2 errors during that time. 12th error of the year. Mentioned during the Open, the Phillies only had 1 error in the previous 5 games. Foul tip, and it's 1-2.
If Jerome wants to pitch up in the zone, he's got to pitch up in the zone and up and in. Like underneath the Phillies logo, tie hitters up. You know, it's just kind of surprising with Tulowitzki because he threw the first 2 pitches down the bottom of knee high. Get back down the bottom of the zone.
Over toward first. Ruff's got it. Flips to second for 1. That's all they'll get. So they get the first out, and their runners on first and third. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be a scream with special guests from Monster Mania stopping by the Bob studio. Plus, the latest on the Phillies as the trade deadline clock ticks down. Wake up with Breakfast on Broad tomorrow morning over on the Comcast Network.
Because that pitch right there, when Jerome is down in the zone, he gets a lot of movement. When his fastball's up in the zone, it's flat. And he's not overpowering at 92, 93 up in the zone. It's 91 with a flat sinker up high. That's why you need to get it underneath the elbows or, even eye high. Rely on your stuff with your sinker or your changeup and your cutter. Don't try to create fastballs up in the zone if you don't have an overpowering fastball.
But I thought it was interesting what Bob McClure said about Jerome. And he didn't do this in the Chicago game, where he didn't establish. He did do this in the Chicago game, where he established 1 or 2 pitches. He didn't go to the whole kitchen sink.
Right.
Tonight it looks like he's going to more than 1 or 2 pitches. He would rather him establish 1 or 2 and then use the others the second time through, or just once or twice to show me pitches.
Well, and instead of trying to find 4 pitches, you can lock 2 pitches in, that cutter and the slider. That's going to help out a lot. I mean, and you never know. I mean, he might have had a bad bullpen. He might not have had the feel for the cutter. He might have had a better feel for the changeup. But I agree. I mean, he's not a curveball pitcher. He's a slider / cutter pitcher to right-handers, backdoor 2-seamers to right-handers, and he's a front door sinker to lefties and a changeup to a lefty.
Down and away, and it's 3-1. They do appeal the swing. Over the shortstop, that should be 2. Galvis flips to second for 1, and it's in time. A 6-4-3 double play. So the only damage is the 2-run home run by Troy Tulowitzki. The back-to-back double plays have helped Jerome Williams here tonight. Didn't help, though, with Troy Tulowitzki's home run. I mean, folks, this was a long one. This is the kind of home runs he used to hit in Coors Field. Without the altitude here in Toronto, man, did he crush it. 2-0 Blue Jays as we move to the top of the 4th inning here in Toronto. And their Jet Intelligent Toner cartridges print up to 1/3 more pages. Get yours from who? But WB Mason today and experience the difference. Nobody beats WB on HP. Troy Tulowitzki is probably a little more relaxed. He did say he was a little nervous. Not as much about coming to an American League team or coming to Toronto. So he's heard nothing but great things about the city, about the organization. He loves the fact that they're battling for a wild card spot. So he was just nervous about changing organizations.
It's a good feeling. Sometimes you play with an organization so long that you get comfortable. You go to a new organization, brings the best out of you. And we've seen tonight a 2-run home run, a nice defensive play to his right.
You wonder if that defensive play relaxed him a little bit too. Although the high fastball probably relaxed him to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Down and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. The thing about Tulowitzki is that the Blue Jays were hoping to select him in the first round when the Rockies selected him. They took Ricky Romero. And Alex Anthopoulos, the general manager, said, listen, we liked Romero. He did a lot of good things for us. He said, but I was there the weekend the Rockies were there watching Tulowitzki play. And he said, and I wanted him. It just didn't work out. Then he wanted him this past off season. He tried to make the same trade this past off season, and it didn't work out. The trade that he made this time fell through, he said, a couple of times as they were trying to coordinate all of it. So for Tulowitzki, California kid, going to the Rockies where he was hoping to win a championship with Colorado, now coming to an organization that seemingly has wanted him since he was 19 years old. And here he is 10 years into his big league, or officially 8 years, but he's played parts of 10 years in the big leagues. I should say officially 9 years. No balls, 1 strike to Howard. Howard hits one high in the air to left center field. Pilar, the center fielder, says he has it, makes the catch. And 1 out. That'll bring Jeff Francoeur to the plate. Murph, you delivered some sad news to Jeff Francoeur today.
Well, yeah, I did. But let me first start by saying that in this win streak, one of the players that has been instrumental, really, and red hot has been Jeff Francoeur. A lot of late inning heroics from his bat. He has 9 home runs, 33 RBIs this year. 3 of those home runs have come in this little bit of a streak, the 9 out of the last 10 for the Phils. But as you mentioned, yes, he had told us the other day on the off day when we were out there on the golf course that one of the 2 places that he had never hit a home run was here at the Rogers Center, and that's true. He's played 13 games here without hitting a home run. And he said, too, he said, I also have never hit one in Marlins Park. He's only played 2 games there in Marlins Park. But I had to deliver the news that he also has never hit one in Miller Park. But he'll get a chance later on this season. Yeah, he was a little bit disappointed to find that out. But he knew he was going to get a chance to play versus the left-hander last night and against R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer, today. And he was hoping that maybe he could change that, hit one here at the Rogers Center. But a double already on the board for Jeff Francoeur. At this point, I think he'd just like to drive in a run.
Russell Martin not too happy that he missed that knuckleball and hit the home plate umpire. It got a piece, I think, of his thumb. By the way, Jeff said, how can I have not hit one at Miller Park?
Yeah, the bandbox.
Tried to hold up, but he went around on that knuckler, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Out to right field, playable for Carrera. 2 outs. And that'll bring Dominic Brown to the plate.
Well, one thing about facing a knuckleballer, when you square one up, it is loud, and just hopefully you get underneath it just a hair. Because there is no rotation. Don't have to reverse the spin of a baseball. Oh.
That good, huh? 0-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Padres lead the Mets 6-1. Justin Upton, solo home run and a sac fly, coming back from that oblique injury. A lot of thoughts that he may no longer be with the Padres as of tomorrow or before Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Inside, 1-2.
Notice I was kind of talking about the home run, how far they can go.
Yeah.
When D. Brown came up.
Yeah, you were
trying to throw some of that positive energy to him.
I'm with you. 123 plate appearances this year without one. Looks like he's seen it okay.
That pitch, yeah.
Chops it foul past one Samuel. Michael Franco led off the inning with a walk. Last two batters flied out.
Here comes that fastball.
He went up the ladder with it. 3 strikeouts for R.A. Dickey. Phillies get a leadoff walk, but they leave a base runner. They've left 3 through the first 4. For great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com and buy Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Bottom of the 4th inning. Denny Valencia will lead things off. By the way, our friend Phil Sheridan and his lovely wife Jen, we forgot to congratulate them yesterday. They welcomed in beautiful Ryan Elizabeth. 6 pounds 15 ounces to their family. There is Ryan Elizabeth. Thankfully, Ryan Elizabeth looks like Jen and not like the guy to the left. But we hope mom's doing great. We hope Ryan is doing tremendous. That ball is a one-hopper past Freddie Galvis, and Valencia is safe at first base. Ryan Elizabeth is entering a house that already has 2 boys. Mom and daughter are doing great, which is awesome to hear. Here's Ezekiel Carrera. He reached on an infield hit his first time up. He bunts back toward the mound. Williams' play is to first. So sacrifice is successful. Well, the team that has scored the most runs in Major League Baseball doesn't always have to do things like that to score runs, but they've decided to get a runner in scoring position for Pilar or Goins to try to get him home.
I got to believe that was on his own, thinking about a base hit. I don't think there's a lot of signs that are giving out of that third base box.
Inside, 1-0. Yeah, I think he was trying to get that over toward third a little bit more. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would agree.
That one's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Over the first base dugout, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Pilar. Jerome came into this ballgame with an 0-5 record on the road, an earned run average of 8.05. Now, part of that was his lack of success in the first half of the season, and he responded to that by saying, "I'm flushing that first half right down the toilet." He was hoping that the second half would clean the slate for him, and he did pitch well against the Cubs the other day. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Got a little cat and mouse game going on down there. Over toward the left side. Franco has it, looks the runner back to second, and just gets it over in time. And there are 2 outs. Well, this Saturday at the Walnut Street Bridge at 24th and Walnut Street, so there'll be the dedication of the Phillies mural in conjunction with the Mural Arts Program of Philadelphia. It begins at 11 a.m. Program will start at 11:30, but the festivities begin at 11 a.m. Arrive early. Scheduled to attend: Mike Schmidt, Brad Lidge, Steve Carlton, Charlie Manuel, Dick Allen, Darren Dalton, Jim Bunning, and other Phils alums. The Fanatic and the Ball Girls will also be in attendance. Here's Goins, who takes strike 1. He reached on a single and then scored on Tulowitzki's 2-run home run. Oh, and 2.
I notice Jerome has no problem throwing inside to right-handers, but it just seems like I don't know if he's, I wouldn't say he's afraid to hit left-handed hitters, but he just doesn't feel comfortable enough throwing that 2-seamer inside.
That's the one that Coughlin hit out for a home run the other day.
Right, like he tries to aim it in there for a strike.
See, there he tried to do it.
Right.
And it's 1-2. I think your point earlier about the cutter or the lack of cutters is well taken. It's somewhat surprising.
Yeah, I mean, he threw a lot of cutters in Chicago, and he threw very well with it.
Tried to backdoor a pitch there, and he misses. It's 2-2.
I mean, the last outing he threw 34% pitches were cutters, and today would say 8, maybe 9 cutters, sliders.
If that. To the right side. And he'll get out of this 4th inning. It may have taken a little longer than the guy behind home plate wanted it to take, but He got through it. We played 4. On to the 5th inning. The Phils looking for a little offense. A quiz answer. All right, Matt, here we go. The question is, who are the only 2 pitchers in MLB history to throw a no-hitter in the same season they won a Gold Glove?
Mark Burley.
Mark Burley is correct. He did that in 2009. There he is.
Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson is also correct. Back in 1971. Bob Gibson was a Gold Glove boxer as well, but an unbelievably gifted baseball player. He could hit, he could pitch, of course, and he won 9 Gold Gloves.
Well, see, the key there is if you waited a little long, they put the answer up before you finish. So I wasn't sure if it was Bob Gibson or.
You know, the guy on the mound won a Gold Glove. R.A. Dickey won a Gold Glove with the Blue Jays in 2013. Ground ball to shortstop. Tulowitzki was shaded that way. Is tonight just about the fact that he has a good knuckleball, or are the Phillies getting themselves out? What do you say?
No, I think he's had a very good knuckleball the last 4 games. He's being able to throw it for strikes. I mean, really, the Phillies haven't swung at. If anything, the Phillies are pretty aggressive tonight.
I guess I don't blame them for being aggressive. They see a knuckleball that they want.
Right. If you see a knuckleball you like, go ahead and hit it. But it is you are playing in his strength right now of being very aggressive, and he's getting in that zone because a knuckleballer can find it. He can lose it very quickly for 1 or 2 innings.
Oh, he's working quickly. The 0-2 chopper back toward the middle again, played perfectly by Goins in the shift. Now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo using hashtag #PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Got a couple of photos from fans who were up here in Toronto enjoying these 2 games. Blanco pops it foul. Martin off with the mask. He has room. Side is retired. A 1-2-3 5th inning for R.A. Dickey. It's his second 1-2-3 inning of the night. 4.5 in the books. It's still 2-0. Jays on top. Foundation program recognizes nonprofit organizations that are making a difference in our communities. Congratulations to our latest champion Philadelphia Academies. To learn more, visit citizensbank.com/community. At Citizens Bank, we want to help you bank better. So the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. Two zip Jays. Tulowitzki leads it off. He homered his last time up, so he's 1 for 2. Lines that one out toward left field. Francoeur won't get it. It's going to go to the wall. Well, he's going to like hitting here at Rogers Center. Overall, it's his 20th double of the season.
Well, with one thing about Tulowitzki is that he's a very good off-speed hitter, but he's also a very good fastball hitter. You see, this is the first pitch, little cutter, thigh high up in the zone, just a hair. But that's the home run swing right there. One thing I find about hitters that have high hands, like Tulowitzki has his hands up old school, they're high. It's so easy for them to hit a high fastball because all they're doing is just dropping straight down. For hitters that have lower hands, they're good low ball hitters. But for guys that have their hands up high, it's just such an easy swing to go straight down to the ball very shortly. And it's hard for a guy who has his hands up high because the swing is directly down to the ball this way. Now, if you're throwing down in here, he has a hard time getting down there because his timing's off.
Well, and that's the pitch he struck out on his first time up. It was a breaking ball down.
Correct.
0-1 to Donaldson. That pitch came back on the outside part of the plate, 0-2. Well, we mentioned he loves hitting against the Phillies for some reason. I don't know if that has anything to do with tonight, but he came in hitting .333 this year, or excuse me, for his career, and .348 this year. Tried the same pitch, and it's 1-2. To right center field, Dominic Brown will have a beat on it. Tulowitzki's tagging from second. Brown's throw. It's not a bad one. But Tulowitzki's there. So runner at third, one out for Jose Bautista, and he is the subject of our Geico quote of the day, talking about Tulowitzki's trade. If you want to look at it as a pure baseball move, there's upgrades in certain areas. Maybe not necessarily what we need, but it's an upgrade if you want to look at it that way. Now, he had to, in his own way, apologize, he felt, for that comment today because he felt like he was offending Jose Reyes. I mean, I think everybody in baseball realizes it's an upgrade to have Tulowitzki over Reyes. Reyes at one time was as gifted a shortstop as you will find. He doesn't have the same wheels. He doesn't have the power of Tulowitzki, and Tulowitzki is considered a better defender, even though his range is slower than it used to be.
Do you think that's a jab at the actual trade, or is he taking a jab at we need more pitching?
I was down there when he said that. I was in the dugout when he said that, and I felt like he wanted pitching.
And if I read that quote there,
there's an RBI single through the hole on the left side.
As everyone knows, they have lots of hitting.
I think he was trying to, in a roundabout way, get to that point that they need pitching, not hitting. That they were okay with Reyes, although he likes Tulowitzki and thinks it's an upgrade. That most people in the clubhouse felt like they needed pitching. Is that what you're getting at?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, he gets an RBI single. 3-0 Toronto. Calabello, who was 1 for 2. Slow curve, 0-1. I went over because I saw a crowd. I thought it was John Gibbons doing his pregame chat. I didn't realize it was Bautista when I went over.
Gibby does his in his lazy boy chair in the office.
Probably much cooler than it was in the dugout.
He's from Texas, though. You'd think he wouldn't mind that.
He's going. Oh, he almost got there. Play baseball.
Well, Jerome wants a new baseball. Fans, did you know that StubHub is personalized just for you? Get the StubHub app today. Start at StubHub and let the fun find you. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Phillies.com. To the right side, Blanco gets to it and throws out Colabello. That was a heck of a play. He had a long way to go. Fortunately, Colabello doesn't run all that well, and he had some time.
Makes a nice play. I'd say about 35, 40 feet to his left. Makes a strong throw. I liked in his interview with Murph today, he was talking about and play pretty good defense. Well, that was a pretty good play right there.
He's been excellent in every facet of the game. A really good pickup. Fastball up and in, 1-0. Jays are 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and Pete Mackanin doesn't want this one to get too far away, particularly the way the Phillies are hitting the knuckleball tonight. 3 runs is not a huge deficit, particularly the way they've been swinging. Tried to go to the same spot. That was a little closer, but called the ball. 2-0. Toward right field, Dominic Brown going back on it. It's over his head, a 1-hop off the wall. 1 run is in. Martin's on his way to second. The throw by Dominic Brown is not in time. RBI double, 19th of the year for Martin, and it's 4-0 Blue Jays on top.
Well, this swing he worked on a lot in batting practice today, going the opposite way. Hits the ball over Dominic Brown's head. We're driving the 4th run of the day.
Well, Pete Mackanin's going out. He's already signaled to the bullpen. So hopefully DeFreitas is ready, because DeFreitas hasn't been throwing for all that long. Now the cap comes up from Rod Nichols, so he is ready to go. So a pitching change for the Phils with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Blue Jays lead it 4-0. We'll be back to give you Justin DeFreitas' numbers right after this. successful second half. Phillies are the first team in MLB history to go 25 or more games under 500 before the All-Star break and win 9 of their first 10 games afterwards. It's the Phillies' best start in the second half of the season since 1970. First team ever in this grand game. Jerome Williams, 10 hits allowed in less than 5 innings of work here tonight. And Justin DeFreitas is coming out of the pen. The Phillies' long man. On to face Danny Valencia, who does have 2 hits. Lays off a slider, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Well, they talk about missing bats. Jerome was not missing bats here tonight. Another slider. This one drops in for strike 1.
That slider right there was the one that they've been trying to get him to go over, to get DeFreitas to throw for the first pitch, to get me over slider instead of the 0-2 slider. Yeah, throw one a little softer, outer third, get ahead, and then you can start playing with the fastball. The slider's away.
Like, there you go. That's 92, but that had movement toward the end.
Yeah. You know, I found it interesting what Bob McClure was talking about when the pitchers figure themselves out. And one thing with DeFreitas he has to work on is that first pitch. Doesn't have to be that 0-2 slider. This is where you want to throw that 1-2 slider.
Well, there you go. He throws it in a great spot, picks up a strikeout to wrap up the 5th inning. 2-run score on 3 hits. On to the 6th. Phils down by 4. History. The 31-year-old left-hander hadn't won a game since May 23rd, and when he finally did so in historic fashion. Cole posted 13 strikeouts over 129 pitches and became the first pitcher since Sandy Koufax's perfect game in 1965 to no-hit the Cubs. 8 outs came by flyouts, including the final out of the game that landed in Herrera's glove and landed Hamels into baseball history again. They call him Hollywood. He was the star, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Cole's been sitting next to Aaron Nola an awful lot over these last few days. Of course, Aaron followed up Cole's no-hitter with an excellent game himself on Sunday afternoon. You get a chance to definitely see Nola on this homestand. Whether we see Cole or not, well, that remains to be seen at the trade deadline. Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Aaron was saying the other day that pitching at Wrigley Field was cooler in person than he ever imagined. Ben Revere lines one out to short. They were doing a little sightseeing there. They're looking up at the CN Tower up there. So 1 out. Freddie Galvis coming up. Tomorrow night at 5, Michael Barquette is joined by Marcus Hayes, Corey Seidman, and Tim McManus to talk about the Phillies trade facts and fiction. Watch Phillies Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, Murph, there's a lot of hard work that goes into all the information that fans are able to garner about the trade deadline. This is a busy time of the year for writers and for everyone involved.
You know, Tom, we talk about how the trade deadline affects the players that, might be traded. There's a lot of talk about whether or not a guy's going to be moved and how that would affect him. But don't forget about the guys who are trying to, cover this story. And I am talking about the writers in particular. Jim Salisbury, our colleague, our friend, told us a very funny story today that last night here in Toronto, when he went to bed, he had a dream that the entire front office was in his backyard around his picnic table at home, and they were talking about all the trades they were going to make. This is all the players. It's the Pat Gillicks, Andy McPhail, all the guys, the decision makers in the Phil's organization, and they were all gathered around having a bonfire using his firewood, which he didn't appreciate, and having this discussion about trades, and they would not give Jim any information despite the fact that they were in his backyard. If you don't think it's affecting Jim Salisbury,
it's so great.
It most definitely is.
Well, as everybody knows, because we talk about Jim all the time, and he's on our pregame show all the time, and he works for CSN Philly. He is the best on so many levels, just to talk to read, to listen to. I've known him for a long time. I've known him since the mid-'90s in the minor leagues. That's a long time.
Look, it's either the trade talks getting to him,
yeah, or the chipmunks and the squirrels and the rabbits in his garden,
or the Molson Canadians. Either one.
I think it might be a combination of both. He's not going to be happy we told that story.
No, that's okay.
I know.
They're going to eventually make a TV sitcom out of him anyway. So Franco's aboard. Ryan Howard's up. Howard is 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's flied to center. Outside, 1-0 to Howard. Top of the 6th inning, Phillies have managed 3 hits against R.A. Dickey. Over the years, they've had some success against him, and they have also had an awful lot of trouble with him. He's 4-4 lifetime. Last year, he went 6 1/3, allowed 7 hits and 3 runs. He walked 3, struck out 4. His first year when he was with the Mets, he had, I think it was 3 starts in a row where Phillies couldn't touch him. That's a broken bat fly ball, right center field. So a 2-out single by Franco. He's left over at first. So far, just 3 hits allowed for R.A. Dickey as we go to the middle of the 6th. entertainment provider of the Phillies and by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. 4-0 Blue Jays. Phillies are 11-11 in the month of July, trying to finish the month on a positive note. The victory tonight or tomorrow will assure them at least a 500 month. So much of the success the Phillies have had is because of the offense during this month of July and since the All-Star break, as that ball hits off the leg of DJ Rayburn, the umpire. But it's also about the staff. Now tonight, Jerome did not go deep, obviously. Starters during the 10 games since the All-Star break, 5-1 with an ERA of 3.47. The whip is down. It's way down. That's rocketed foul. The bullpen, though, has also been part of this positive run. The bullpen in the 10 games, an earned run average of 1.31. Outside, 2-1. That was a good pitch. Some groans from down below. That was a good pitch, though.
Backdoor slider.
Yep.
You know, one thing you'd like to see with the Phillies hitters is not lose the timing they've had over the last 10 games. And it can happen sometimes when you face a knuckleball pitcher. You had a day off. You faced a lefty yesterday, then all of a sudden you're facing a knuckleballer. And now you're going to face a guy throwing, some queso tomorrow. So
yeah, that did happen to the Phillies when R.A. Dickey first started pitching with the Mets and was successful. They had trouble not only against him, but then the games afterward. Now, this is a different group, obviously, but your thought is appropriate. Two balls, two strikes. To the right side, past the diving Darren Ruff. Ezekiel Carrera is 2 for 2. That'll bring Kevin Pillar to the plate. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, guys. Well, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected our Data Strong fan photo of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. Today's photo comes from Jessica Ann, 97. It's her and Cole Hamels. I think that's on photo day. Nice smiles as well. You could tweet your strongest fan photo to #PhillyPhoto DataStrongFan, and you just may see your photo in an upcoming broadcast, all brought to you by T-Mobile. Guys?
And the theme has been Photo Day.
It has been.
Or Photo Night recently. Inside, it's 1-0. We should get some good photos on Tuesday night when we're near the on-deck circle.
So you're bringing a camera and a glove.
You want to bring a camera? Throw goes away. It wasn't touched by a fan, so it's a live ball, and Carrera is on his way to third, and he'll get there. That'll be an E1. How that didn't touch one of the hands down there is remarkable. I mean, they were all over that ball. Well, I don't know where Justin was throwing that ball.
Not sure either. We always talk about there's always something with a purpose. Well, that throw didn't have much of a purpose on it. It's almost like the fact that he didn't want to throw over there.
Boy, I'll tell you, I thought one of the fans hit that ball. Now, Joe West is talking to Pete Buchanan about that. Joe was right there. I don't know if he could see it or not. Rob Drake, the third base umpire, is walking over as well. I wonder if Rob was going over, if he saw something to help out. So an E1 that puts a runner at third. The Phillies are going to have to play the infield in with nobody out. 1 ball, no strikes to Pilar. Outside 2-0. That'll get the run home. Dominic Brown makes the catch. It'll be a sac fly. 5-0 Toronto. At least at this point, that's an unearned run. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals lead the Marlins 5-2. Bryce Harper has the 3-run home run, his 28th of the year. So if that score holds until the 9th inning, Papelbon will come on, I would think, to record or attempt to record his first save in a Nats uniform. He is in Miami. He met with the members of the DC media today. Said he felt free. And he was happy to be with a contender.
He really said he felt free?
That was one of his comments, yeah. Two balls, one strike.
Anything else interesting that he had to say?
He said that he did talk to Drew Storen and told Drew that he would not have come to D.C. if Drew was not okay with him taking over as the closer. Now, all the other reports are that Storen was not okay about it, but he said he would not have accepted the trade if Storen wasn't okay with it. He also said that he wants to play long enough. He's out there to he wants to pass Mariano's saves record. Now he needs more than 300 saves to do that, and I think he's going to run out of time and velocity because Mariano was unbelievably durable and wasn't losing miles per hour on his cutter or his fastball at the age of Jonathan Papelbon. But he could be around long enough to reach some pretty nice milestones. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That one just missed. That wasn't a bad pitch at all. Must have tailed off toward the outside part of the plate or off the outside part of the plate. And here's one from above. Outside according to that.
It's outside, but it's a ball length, so you would think 5-0, 6th inning.
Ring him up.
Get that right hand going.
Ring him up. Tulowitzki. A liner out toward left field. That one is off the base of the wall. Tulowitzki will get his second double of the night. The throw to the plate from Galvis to try to get going is not in time. 6-0 Blue Jays. 3 extra base hits, 3 RBIs for Tulowitzki.
Well, it's the first pitch slider. Actually, luckily, he hit out towards the end of the bat a little bit. Any nerves that gentleman had before coming here? No longer.
And now Donaldson inside 1-0. Tulo said one of the things he's going to miss are the chants. They had a really neat chant going in Colorado that started really his second year with the Rockies. And they are trying here. It doesn't have the same rhythm right now, but they are trying.
How's it go?
One ball and no strikes. Well, he keeps doing what he's doing now. They're going to bring people in from Colorado to train them on how to say it right.
It will be interesting to see how Gibby takes care of Tulo at shortstop. He gives him some days off with the turf. It's kind of an advantage that Toronto has right now is that Encarnacion can play first base, DH. Batista can DH, first base. Tulo can play some first base, shortstop, DH.
And the other thing, too, is Goins showed last night that he can pick it at shortstop.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that was just an aberration or not, but he looked really good.
Well, he's got a fielding percentage over .990.
Yeah. Now, a lot will depend on the guy that's talking to Goins right now. Travis aggravated his shoulder last night. They don't know if they're going to have to put him on the DL or not. Devin Travis is the one who led off the game yesterday with the home run. That ball is going to be hit a mile. It's going to go foul, but it's going to knock some lights out on the level of excellence. Here we go.
Listen.
How do you get that kind of bat speed? I have. That's unbelievable. You had it. I don't know how you get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a base hit to right field. Tulowitzki's around third. He's being held. And Dominic Brown overthrows the cutoff man. Going to second base is Donaldson. He went off the bag, but he only hung on. Well, this is not the cleanest game for the Philadelphia Phillies. It's probably their roughest game since the All-Star break as far as defense goes and everything. So they'll give him a single and he goes to second on the throw.
Yeah, one thing about this player is one, you got to know who's running, and also you got to realize what the score is. 6-0. Now they're going to have a situation first and third, 1 out with Batista coming up. Very important, and you have to hit that cutoff guy at first base.
Yeah, now it's second and third because of the missed cutoff man. And you saw by that angle, that was a great angle to show it. Luis Rivera had already held up Tulowitzki at third base. Oh, it's back over our heads. In the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Batista. To the left side, knocked down by Franco, and no play. I would think they have to score that in E5. Well, they don't have to. They scored it a base hit.
Scored the base hit.
Yeah.
It is a big hop. The airplane on AstroTurf and hit him right in the middle of the glove.
It really does have to be scored in error, but they scored a base hit. It's the 14th hit for the Blue Jays, and it brings Colabello to the plate. The Phillies will sit back and look to try to turn 2. Colabello has grounded out once, or I should say twice, and he's singled to center field. 1 for 3. Slider low, 1-0. Now keep in mind, even with a ground ball, Bautista, who has the bum leg, does have a huge lead off first base.
Luckily, though, he has a big lead at first base, but absolutely nothing for a secondary.
That's true. He's just wandering. DeFreitas' pitch counts at 35. 31 of those pitches have come here in this inning alone. And still just one man down. Center field. Revere will get under it. Tulowitzki will tag from third. In fact, each of the runners tag, but only 2 advance. Sac fly. 7-0 Toronto. Tulowitzki, 3 runs, 3 RBIs, 3 extra base hits. Well, that'll certainly make you forget about Jose Reyes. Here's Russell Martin. Araujo.
Awful lot of pitches this inning.
Yeah.
Is that 34 pitches this inning?
Yep. This will be number 35. Broke his bat, and it'll be a one-hopper out to shortstop. Galvis has it, and the side is finally retired. However, The Jays tack on 3 more here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So we'll go on to the 7th. It's the Jays 7, the Phillies nothing. Loud sounds off the bats of the Blue Jays tonight. Our Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. They have 14 hits, 7 runs on 14 hits. They touched up Jerome Williams for 4 of those runs, 3 to Justin DeFreitas. Troy Tulowitzki in his debut, 2-run home run, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, couple runs scored. In fact, 3 runs scored. So as we go to the 7th inning, R.A. Dickey has a comfortable lead, and Jeff Francoeur. This is the first pitch knuckleball. Oh, and 2. And there's a bloop out towards center, and Jeff Francoeur has his 2nd hit of the night. Watch every Out of Market game live or on demand in True HD and over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Dominic Brown is 0 for 2. He's popped out and he struck out. That one's down the right field line, heading toward foul territory. Well, the knuckleball has been dancing in the strike zone tonight.
It's just the last second, the movement on the knuckleball.
Out towards short, that might be 2. Tulowitzki to second for 1. Dominic hustling all the way. Ooh, he's out at first base. They may look at that one. Close play. I think Dominic's foot got there before the throw arrived, but sometimes it's deceiving with the naked eye. It's close.
Very close.
And they do want to review it. Without looking at that replay, I thought he beat it. But looking at the replay, it was a lot closer than I thought. I don't know what you thought about that, Matt.
Well, no, I agree. I thought I thought he beat it pretty easily. But then again, it comes down to where, and we've seen it a few times this year, where guys are stepping on the first base bag. They're stepping in the middle of the bag.
Watch it again. The ball and the foot basically arrived at the same time. All right, so the foot is on the base there, and the ball is not on in the glove there. So I mean, this could go down as an inconclusive, but from that replay that we just saw, that second one, it looks like Dominic beat it. Now he's standing on the first base bag, confident, and he is safe. Well, he was moving up the line. Give him credit for that. And Carlos Ruiz is coming up. Off the glove of Martin, and it kicks up the first base line. I think that got a piece of him again.
I don't think Martin enjoys catching the knuckleball too much.
That one, he didn't.
That one was unbelievable. That one started chest high and hit him right in the knee.
That is a wild pitch, the 36th. Well, Martin's been catching this year. Carlos pops it up, shallow right. Carrera says he has it. Well, that means there's 2 outs, and Darren Ruff is coming up. Besides Huff, Wakefield, and R.A. Dickey, were there any others that you faced that you remember, knuckleballers? Like Jared Fernandez? Did you ever face Jared Fernandez?
No, I did not. I think that's it. I think those are the only 3.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have faced Fernandez in the minor leagues either. You could have. No balls, 2 strikes to Ruff. And he waves at that one. It's off the glove of Russell Martin. And then it's off the glove of Colabello. Brown's coming home. He'll score. And it's a 7-1 ball game. So it is a strikeout. And I'm assuming they'll score that. Well, you can't assume with the knuckleball. But it went off his glove. And then there will be an error charged to Russell Martin.
Knuckleball, pass ball. Then an E2?
Yes. Russell Martin's probably thinking, you know, that gold shield I have on my chest protector, you know, that means I want a gold glove. I hope they don't take this into account. Ground ball foul. You know, when R.A. Dickey was traded from the Mets to the Blue Jays, the Mets sent 2 catchers that were used to catching him. Tolley was one that was used to catching him because they were afraid that whomever they had couldn't catch the knuckleball. Well, both those guys are out of the organization now. It's an art. I mean, Varitek was so good at it. But Marabelli caught Wakefield more than Varitek did.
Correct, yep. That was always the big talk going into the playoffs. Varitek, no. You got that chemistry between Marabelli and Wakefield. I guess we'll give up the bat for a defensive catcher.
That one's out toward left center field. Coming on is Pilar, and he'll make the catch. Yeah, in fact, the Red Sox eventually had so many issues without Marabelli, they reacquired him only to catch Tim Wakefield's.
And flew him in on a private plane.
That's exactly right. All right, Ron, we appreciate that. It's bottom of the 7th inning. And Justin DeFreitas is still out there. And Danny Valencia will lead things off. Takes the first pitch up high. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Valencia is 2 for 3. Well, Justin's getting some work in here tonight.
Well, I like the fact that he's back up on the bump. He's pitched an inning and a third. He's given up 3 runs. Try to find it. Try to get back in that rhythm again.
Those last 2 pitches are pretty good. That's the spot he wants.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is for him to get on the plane and going back with that bitter taste in his mouth, knowing that he made some bad pitches, made some mistakes.
Got him. Just kept going farther and farther away off the outside part of the plate. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Every time the Phillies pitchers retired the opposition 1-2-3, which Jerome did to start the ball game. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Here's Carrera. He's had a good night. He's 2 for 3, or 2 for 2, I should say, with a sacrifice. He's had a pretty nice season for the Jays in a limited role, hitting .264. Darren will take it to the bag. 2 outs. And Kevin Pillar. I think we've noticed why they're so excited about Pillar's defense in this series. He hasn't made any spectacular plays, but he's covered an abundance of ground out in the outfield.
He has. He can go on back on baseballs. I'm very impressed with line drives. Hit right at him.
How he reads everything. It's
tremendous jumps.
Now, we've seen highlights all year long of him climbing the wall in left field. He's done that a couple times, coming in diving in shallow left field.
I mean, even the ball that Blanco hit his last inning. He caught it in front of the left fielder.
Wasn't even in the picture at the start. I might tell you about the defense of some of the left field, some of the other outfielders. He's Kelly Leak out there, running all over the place. So at a Major League scoreboard, the Braves are playing the Orioles tonight. Top of the 7th inning, Orioles lead at 2-0. J.J. Hardy has homered for the Orioles. I'm interested to see if the Orioles do anything before the trade deadline on Friday. The Braves, they're talking about letting some of their veterans go, trading some of their veterans like Johnny Gomes, Jim Johnson, Chris Johnson, folks like that.
Oh, I think from tonight until Friday at 4 o'clock, there's going to be a lot of movement. And I think a lot of surprises with some teams jumping in where people did not expect. I'm not saying here, just throughout Major League Baseball.
Just in general.
Fun time of year.
There's a line drive base hit to center field. 15 hits now for the Jays. This guy was a 32nd round draft pick. Another Division II player out of California State University in Dominguez Hills in Carson, California. That's why you have to remember, doesn't matter where you go. Just matters how you play. They'll find you anywhere. Out toward left center field. That's going to split the gap and go to the wall. Goins will get an extra base hit. Pillar is flying around third. RBI double the opposite way.
Fastball outer half. Rutherford gets a little bit of power in that bat. The first 2 hitters, the Freitas, nice job to strike out and weak ground ball to first base, and then can't get that third out.
8-1 Blue Jays on top. 8 runs on 16 hits. And now Tulowitzki. He's been a show all by himself tonight. After striking out his first time out, he's homered and he's doubled twice. 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored. After starting 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, the Blue Jays have 3 hits in their last 5 ABs. One ball, no strikes. It's not the same chant, but outside, 2-1.
It's almost like they get the chant Tulo right, but they got Ovechkin in there. Tulo Ovechkin. No, it's not him.
I wouldn't imagine they like him up here.
No.
Freddie Galvis throws out to Tulowitzki, and the side is retired. Another run scores, though, and an RBI double. 7 in the books. We'll go to the 8th inning. Phillies trail at 8-1 to the Blue Jays. To find out. Toyota, let's go places. Buy McDonald's. Double 11 at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. Top of the 8th inning, it's 8-1. Blue Jays on top. They've had a banner night offensively. They've broken out 8 runs on 16 hits, although they do this from time to time. Then Revere will lead it off. At the end of the inning, the end of the top of the 7th inning, Russell Martin went into the dugout and went right down the stairs toward the clubhouse as Revere lines a single to right field. You know, a lot of times you'll see a guy do that because they want to go see how they're hitting. I think he was going down there because he was A, frustrated, but also wanted to take a look at some video on how he was catching, because he's definitely been frustrated here tonight. There's got to be a huge learning curve for him. Nobody threw the knuckleball in Pittsburgh. I don't think anybody threw one in Los Angeles when he was out there.
Nor New York.
Or New York.
Well, easier said than done catching a knuckleballer. They just say the key is to have a nice loose glove.
There's another base hit. Galvis hits one to right field. Revere stops at seconds. Runners on first and second. Maikel Franco's coming up. All right, Murph, time for the Major League Notebook. Let's see if you can get some offense in that notebook, too.
I'll see what I can do. It's brought to you by St. Joseph's University, and Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw going to get a couple extra days rest. The reigning Cy Young winner is nursing a sore hip, so instead of starting on Wednesday when he was slotted, he's going to pitch on Friday. In addition, Zach Greinke is coming off the paternity list, so he's going to pitch on Saturday, so that kind of resets the Dodgers rotation going forward anyway. And the Red Sox had to make a couple of moves today. They placed Mookie Betts on on the 7-day disabled list for concussions. He got that concussion when he went over the bullpen wall the other day and hit his head. So he's going on the 7-day concussion list. They are going to recall Jackie Bradley Jr., and he's going to play center field for each day that Betts is out, so they can get another look at Bradley Jr., one of their top prospects, who's been up and down in MLB and AAA, so they're going to get another look at him. But hopefully Mookie Betts only out for those 7 days. That's kind of scary when you're dealing with the head, guys.
It was an incredible attempt on his part. He caught the ball, flipped over the fence, and then it jarred loose once he hit the ground. The tarp for the bullpen was up against the fence, and instead of that sort of breaking his fall, he it caused his angle to go a little different. Michael takes a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's 1 for 2. Over toward the hole, cut off by Donaldson. They'll get 1 and 2. Well, Matt, you said you can lose it pretty quickly if you're a knuckleballer. It helps when you have an 8-1 lead, but it also helps when you can roll a double play ball after getting 2 base hits to start the inning.
Well, and that's one thing about a knuckleballer, that it's such late movement that you think you're right on it, and all of a sudden it jams you. And Donaldson, a very good third baseman, very strong throw to second base, very easy turn.
Up high, 1-0 to Ryan Howard. Nationals 7, Marlins 2, bottom of the 8th inning. All right, Bryce Harper has 2 homers. It's not a safe situation. They still may put him in. It's a tough pitch there on the outer edge.
I find it interesting that Russell Martin gives signs.
Yeah.
He gives the number 1 finger. That's the hard fastball. By the knuckleball. He gives the 2 where the fingers shake. He wants the slower knuckleball.
Three-two pitch. High fly ball down the left field line. Playable as long as Valencia can get there, and he got there, but he dropped it.
He went a long way. Usually a pretty good outfielder. Running on your heels that far. You want to talk about a knuckleballer coming out of Dickey's hands? Run after a fly ball on your heels? Worse.
Yeah, he's an infielder making that transition, so. That one's lined out toward right field. That'll drop for a base hit. It'll be an RBI single for Howard. Revere coasts home. A 2-ball game. 54th RBI for Howard. 18th RBI here in the month of July for the Phillies first baseman. Out toward left center field, playable for Pilar. He got it toward the end of the bat. Zani's retired. The Phillies get one. They get 3 base hits. 1 man left. Middle of the 8th inning. Phillies have made it an 8-2 ball game. Of the game. Matt?
Well, comes back a long time ago. Rivera hits the ball to Tulowitzki's right. We've seen this play many times, getting up, making a strong 3/4 throw to second base. Turf, grass, it does not matter.
Yep.
That's your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Is R.A. Dickey done, you think?
Yes.
Talking to Russell Martin. Now Martin can laugh a little bit because he can go get his other glove. Donaldson will lead it off. Hector Neris. Pete Walker came over to shake his hand, R.A. Dickey's hand. He's the pitching coach. Hector Neris has the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and a third, 6 hits and 4 runs charged to the line of Justin DeFreitas. One walk and 2 strikeouts. See Hector's numbers: 1-0, a 4.15 ERA. DeFreitas threw 54 pitches during his outing. His high this year, I think it's 58, as he takes on this role of being the quote-unquote long man. It'll be Donaldson, Bautista, and Colabello. Phillies return home. Night baseball tomorrow at Citizens Bank Park, 7:05. Aaron Harang starts for the Phils. He will not make a rehab assignment against Shelby Miller for the Atlanta Braves. And then, well, then we'll see. Pete Mackanin told us, Murph, what did he say to us today? He said, I guarantee you guys that there will be a starting pitcher on the mound on Friday.
Yeah, and then someone said, well, so it's definitely not a bullpen game? And he's like, well, I just mean we're going to have a pitcher on the mound. In other words, he's not telling much of anything.
He has been funny, though. His pregame chats have been light. They've been honest.
I like when he said today, to answer one of the reporter's questions, he said, I have no comment on that. And then he smiled and said, ooh, I felt like Bill Belichick just then.
He did say that. A reference to Bill Belichick's press conference earlier today about the Deflategate scandal. 2 balls, no strikes to Batista, who has 2 hits today, an RBI, a run scored. From Hector Neris. Aaron Harang will take the roster spot vacated by Papelbon. The Phillies have been 1 guy short in the pen, with Pap getting traded. Three balls, 2 strikes. That one is way up there. Jeff Francoeur under it. Phillies fantasy camp will take place next January from the 20th to the 24th in Clearwater, Florida. Who doesn't want to go to Clearwater? Put a Phillies uniform on, play in a game against the alums. Get some training from guys like John Kruk, Greg Lazinski, Matt Stairs, Milt Thompson, Larry Anderson. I think Larry's going. You can call 610-520-3400 for more details. If Larry doesn't go, then you, Matt Stairs, have to run Kangaroo Court.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Colabello has an RBI on a sac fly. He's also singled.
I don't think players nowadays know what Kangaroo Court is.
You don't think they have some form of it that we just don't know about it?
No chance.
You want to have it up here in the broadcast booth? We'll get Larry and Scott and Murph involved. And
no.
Ben, of course.
We could do that.
We'll get, I got it. We'll do all of us, Larry and Scott, Bill, Angel, and Will. Got JJ.
Take Jim
Jackson.
Take some De Niro.
Yeah.
Take some Loonies, some Toonies.
Could even include Jim Salisbury if we want to.
Oh,
He's part of the CSF.
I'd find him for having that dream last night.
See what you started, Murph?
I think he deserves to be tried for that.
No trial needed. He's guilty.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Colabello. What we could do is we can have Kangaroo Court as part of the round table on Fridays. How about that?
Nah, then you have to be PG-13.
All right. That's a good point. On the outside corner, called strike 3, 94 from Hector Neris. And that'll do it for the Jays here in the 8th inning. Top of the 9th inning, Phillies down 8-2. freeze of the game.
Well, we might as well make him look the new guy here, too, though. Back in the first inning, 0-2. Crushes the home run to left. Fifth inning, first pitch slider. Double, then sixth inning comes up again. Races another slider off the wall for another double. So 3 for 5. 2 doubles, a home run, and that's your W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
Tulowitzki has to feel good about his first game with the Blue Jays. Now he'll have 4 against the Kansas City Royals, so he'll be thrown into the fire even more. And then the Twins come to town. And the Blue Jays are battling both of those teams, more the Twins. The Royals are running away with their division now. Smoke takes over at first base. And Bo Schultz will be the new pitcher. 19th game for Schultz. Bo Schultz is a big guy, 6'3", 235 pounds. Out of Highland Park High School in Texas. He is out of Northwestern University. Was not drafted. Signed as a free agent by the Oakland A's in 2008. Dominic Brown lines one at Donaldson, one away. Well, no matter how this game finishes up, and it's an uphill battle right now, the Phillies down 8-2. This has been a very good road trip. It's been entertaining on a lot of levels. It's been well played up until tonight. Tonight has not been as crisp. But that bunch right there has provided us, the fans, everybody, with the brightest spot of this season. Wouldn't you agree with that, Matt?
Absolutely. A lot of good things since the break. A lot of good things happen on this road trip. And you're going in playing against the Cubs, who are, well over 500 playoff. Win there to Chicago and play well. Get a no-hitter. First major league victory. Aaron Nola. Cole Hamels, of course, the no-hitter. Jerome Williams threw well the first game. Key hits, 21 extra base hits.
Chopper to third. Donaldson's up with it. 2 outs. Get some drama, not only at the end of the no-hitter, but also Frenchie's home run at the end of that Friday game.
No, they got to be very happy with the 5-game road trip, 4-1. Morgan coming in last night, leadoff home run, settles down.
Yeah, I thought he was impressive last night. I really, for what we're seeing tonight, think about what we're seeing tonight, and he was able to offset that last night. Darren Ruff takes way outside, 1-0. Darren Ruff is down on strikes, and the ball game is over. A 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning. First loss of the road trip for the Phils comes at the hands of R.A. Dickey and the Blue Jays by a final score of 8-2. Well, this was a convincing win for Toronto, if only because of their